Number one, we were never married. I met her in 1991 in Los Angeles. I was introduced to her by a friend who's no longer living, and I was just released from prison. I had nowhere to go, nowhere to stay, and a friend of mine suggested that would I be willing to meet a young lady that he was in knowledge of, or that he knew of, and I said, "Well, why not? I have nothing to lose." So we went to her house. It was Karen KK King. Uh, he introduced us, and he told her a little bit about me. Long story short, she allowed me to come live with her, stay with her until I got myself together. That first initial night, she allowed me in to her home.
Sorry, go ahead.
Actually, it was it wasn't. You could say that's how our relationship started. You can say that. Because that's how we met. I stayed with her until I got so called for the better choice of words. Until I got on my feet, so I got myself together. One, Alante was living with Karen at the time. He didn't want to live with me in Alabama. He hates Alabama, so I allowed him to go live with them. Okay. Um, I think he was there for maybe 2 months. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but I know that she wanted me. She kept calling me, telling me to come get him. That she didn't want him living there with them anymore because he was doing marijuana or whatever the reasons were. So I thought that she was just joking. It might blow over, or 'cause I was attending a college and I was working. So my son was at that age. He was 16. He was at that age where he wanted to just, they get where they wanted us to be grown. So sometimes you can't just hold him down. You got to just let him get out there. So I let him go stay with Karen. But mind you, he wants to go be with his brother, which is fast. Different mothers, same father. And his brother, that he considered his brother, Scrapp Deleon, which is Will. His name is Will, but he's since changed his name to Scrapp Deleon, which is not my biological son. When I met Karen King, he was only 4 years old. Okay, but I took him on as my son because I don't think he know who his real father is. I don't know who his real father is. So my Alante just considered them all his brothers. Okay, so I got tired of her calling me to come pick up Lante. So I just said, hey, I'm going to go pick him up. I'm going to do a turnaround. I'm going to come back home. And I threatened him with a urinalysis test because that was her reason for telling me that she wanted him to leave. That he was doing marijuana. So I couldn't believe that she was complaining because hey, your kids were no different. But her words to justify it was that he was a minor. He was only 16. So I just decided to go get him. Okay, but that was only for her reason. Her reasons for that was to lure me to Atlanta. Okay, um, and the reason why she needed to lure me to Atlanta is because she wanted to do harm to me. I had no prior uh, words with her, as far as domestically. I wasn't um, violent. I'm not a violent person. I'm not a woman beater. I never laid my hands on her. Uh, I never laid my hands on the children. Sass, he never gave me a reason to because he's always been a kid in my presence. He's never acted any type of showed any type of malice towards me. Scrap Deleon, we never had any words. Will, we never had any words. We never had any disagreements. We barely talked. And when we did speak, they respected me. They shook my hand or whatever. It was kind of a perfunctory type of greeting with him, but it was still a greeting. You know, he always had some type of distance with me, but uh, I wasn't in his life because I wasn't in your mother's life. So it's hard to be in a kid's life when you're not in the mother's life. And whatever picture that she painted of them, of me to them, then that's her. I never painted a negative picture, you know, to the kids about her because that's grown. That's what grown people don't do that. You know, my father was never in my life, but my mother never, you know, dirty Mac this name. That's a term. You know, she never talked negatively about him. So I never spoke negatively about Karen, even though despite all the things she has done to me that they don't know nothing about. So, you know, but anyway, she has done things to me that they do not have knowledge of, right? But it's between her and I. You know, a lot of these things has cost us prison sentences. She's been to prison numerous of times. I've been to prisons. Uh, I've been to prison twice behind her. My first prison sentence that I went to jail dealing with her, we were involved in a money laundering. I mean, not a money laundering. We was involved in um, uh, a counterfeiting scheme. Okay, that's when I went to jail the first time with her, federal prison. The second time I went to federal prison dealing with her is because on the counterfeit money scheme, we both got 16 months. Okay, when it was time for me to turn myself in to do the 16 months, I turned myself in. When it was time for her to turn herself in to do the 16 months, she didn't turn herself in. She ran. So the whole time I was in prison, she was on the run. And now that I'm talking about this, I think that the reason why she ran for so long is because she needed to take care of the kids while she was her children while I was in prison. And then when I got out of prison, then she got caught. Well, she went and did time. She did her time. So they didn't give her. They give you. They give you 5 years. I mean, they give you extra time for absconding, is what they call it. But she didn't get extra time for absconding because anytime you agree to cooperate, well, give us. They're gonna say, well, give us someone if you want to beat this time. That's just for better lack of word. Just give. Okay, well, give us someone. Could you give us anybody? So of course, long story short, she gave them me. Because when I got out of prison from doing the counterfeiting, I mean the money laundering, and this stuff is complicated. When I got out of prison from doing the counterfeiting uh, sentence, mind you, I'm a drug dealer. In my past, I was a drug dealer. Any type of white collar crime I did, it was with her because that was her forte. White collar is her thing. So if I dipped and dabbed in it, it was because she presented it to me. And me, I like to make money, so of course, I'm not by far. I'm not painting the picture like I'm this guy who ain't done nothing. No, that's not me. I was with the get down. So